Hey there, history buffs. Today, I'm about to take you on an epic journey back in time to one of the most thrilling battles in ancient history. Our destination, the year 490 BCE. Our location, the small coastal plain of Marathon, just a stone's throw away from the heart of ancient Athens, Greece. Imagine a world where the mighty Persian Empire, under the iron rule of King Darius I, casts a long, shadowy silhouette over the lands it seeks to conquer. Its gaze has now turned westward towards the city-states of Greece, sparking a conflict that would echo through the annals of history. Now, picture the Greeks, a collection of fiercely independent city-states, each with its own unique culture and way of life. Among them, Athens, a beacon of democracy and philosophy, stands tall, refusing to bow down to the Persian yoke. Despite being vastly outnumbered and facing a formidable foe, the Greeks are determined to protect their homeland and their freedom at all costs. In this tumultuous backdrop, we find Miltiades, an Athenian general with a keen strategic mind. Recognizing the threat posed by the Persian forces, he rallies his fellow Athenians, calling upon their courage and resilience to stand against the impending Persian onslaught. Miltiades knows that the Greeks cannot match the Persians in numbers, but he also knows that they have something the Persians lack: a deep, unwavering love for their homeland, and a burning desire to protect it. This, he believes, will be their greatest weapon in the battle to come. As the sun rises over the plain of Marathon, the stage is set for what will become one of the most significant battles in human history. The Greeks, under the leadership of their brave generals, prepare to face the mighty Persian Empire, their hearts filled with a fierce determination to defend their homeland. The mighty Persian Empire, under the leadership of King Darius I, has set its sights on conquering Greece. But the fiercely determined Greeks won't go down without a fight. And so the stage is set for the epic Battle of Marathon, a clash of cultures and a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Greeks. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this legendary conflict in the next episode. The Greeks, vastly outnumbered and facing an army of Persian warriors, had to come up with a cunning plan to defend their land. The odds were stacked against them, but the Greeks were no strangers to adversity. They were led by Miltiades, a shrewd Athenian general who wasn't about to let his homeland fall without a fight. Miltiades knew that a head-on clash with the Persian forces would be suicidal. So he devised a strategy that was as brilliant as it was daring. He decided to use a military formation known as the phalanx. The phalanx was a tightly packed infantry formation, with soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder, their shields overlapping and their spears jutting out in a menacing wall of iron. This formation was the cornerstone of Greek military strategy. It was designed to be an impenetrable fortress on the battlefield, capable of withstanding the fiercest of enemy assaults. Each soldier in the phalanx was not just fighting for his own life, but also protecting the man beside him. Their collective strength was their greatest weapon. Miltiades also recognized the importance of the terrain in Marathon. He positioned his forces in such a way that the Persians would be funneled into a narrow front, limiting the impact of their numerical superiority. This was a masterstroke that allowed the Greeks to hold their ground against the Persian onslaught. Moreover, Miltiades didn't just rely on his infantry. He also made excellent use of his light-armed troops and archers. These forces were deployed on the wings, ready to strike at the flanks of the Persian army and disrupt their formations. But the true genius of Miltiades' strategy lay in its psychological impact. The sight of the formidable phalanx, standing steadfast in the face of the Persian army, must have been a daunting sight. It sent a clear message to the Persians that the Greeks were ready to fight to the death to protect their homeland. This defensive formation would prove vital in holding off the Persian onslaught and protecting the heart of Greece. The Greeks had turned their disadvantage into an advantage, their courage and ingenuity shaping the course of the battle, and indeed the course of history. The Persians, confident in their superior numbers, launched their attack with a fury. They descended on the Greeks like a tempest, their war cries echoing across the field. Yet the Greeks, clad in bronze and bearing their shields high, held their ground. They stood firm, a human bulwark against the Persian onslaught. The Greek soldiers, though fewer in number, were not cowed by their formidable adversaries. Instead, they were galvanized by the threat. Every spear thrust, every shield raised, was a testament to their courage and their determination to protect their homeland. They knew the odds were against them, but they also knew that they had something the Persians did not, a love for their land that was as deep as the Aegean Sea. Miltiades, the Athenian general, watched as his soldiers held their own against the Persian invaders. His plan was working. The phalanx, their tightly packed formation, was proving to be an effective barrier against the Persian forces. The Greeks were a rock against which the Persian waves crashed and broke, again and again. The battle raged on, with neither side willing to give an inch. The air was thick with the tang of metal and the cries of men locked in combat. Yet amidst the chaos, the Greeks held their formation. They moved as one, their shields and spears working in concert to repel the Persian attacks. The Persians, so confident at the outset, began to falter. They had expected an easy victory, a quick subjugation of the Greeks, but what they found were warriors, men who would not bow to the might of the Persian Empire, men who, despite being outnumbered, fought with the ferocity of lions defending their pride. Wave after wave, the Persians pressed forward, but each time they were pushed back by the unwavering Greek defense. The Battle of Marathon was far from over, but as the day wore on, one thing became clear. The Greeks were not going to be easily defeated. Their spirit, their courage, their unyielding determination was a force to be reckoned with. And as the sun began to set on the battlefield, the Greeks stood tall, their shields still held high, their hearts still full of hope. As the battle raged on, the Greeks, led by their brave and resourceful commanders, counterattacked with a sudden and ferocious charge. This was no random act of desperation, but a calculated move, carefully orchestrated by the Athenian general Miltiades. The Greeks, despite being outnumbered, capitalized on their familiarity with the terrain and their superior battle formation. They used their compact phalanx formation to their advantage, with their hoplites, the heavily armed foot soldiers, forming a wall of bronze shields and long spears. This impenetrable wall of Greek warriors began to push the Persians back, breaking their lines and sowing confusion among their ranks. But the Greeks didn't rely solely on their infantry. Their archers, known for their deadly precision, played a pivotal role in turning the tide of the battle. With a hailstorm of arrows, they rained destruction on the Persian forces. The Persians, though equipped with their own archers, couldn't match the Greeks' accuracy and the devastating impact of their arrows. The Persians, taken aback by this sudden and fierce counterattack, started to falter. Their lines crumbled under the relentless Greek charge, and their organized ranks descended into chaos. The once formidable Persian army found themselves on the back foot, scrambling to regroup and counter the Greek onslaught. Despite their superior numbers, the Persians found themselves overpowered by the Greeks' courage, discipline, and tactical prowess. The Greek forces, driven by their love for their homeland and their determination to protect it at all costs, did not waver. The Persians' confident invasion was now a desperate fight for survival. They realized that they were not battling just an army, but a people united by a common cause. The tide had indeed turned, and the once invincible Persian army was now in a chaotic retreat, fleeing towards their anchored fleet waiting nearby. And so the Greeks, against all odds, managed to turn the tide of the battle, turning a potential defeat into a resounding victory. What started as a confident invasion turned into a chaotic retreat as they fled towards their anchored fleet waiting nearby. The Greeks, fueled by their love for their homeland and their commitment to freedom, had succeeded against all odds. Their victory at Marathon was not merely a military achievement, but a resounding declaration of their resilience and determination. It was a battle that would echo through the annals of history, its reverberations felt even today. In the immediate aftermath of the battle, the Greeks were left to count their losses and tend to their wounded. But even amid the sorrow and pain, there was a sense of triumph, a feeling of pride that they had stood their ground against the mighty Persian Empire. The Battle of Marathon had given them something more than just a military victory. It had given them hope and a renewed conviction in their ideals. For the Persians, the defeat was a bitter pill to swallow. Their dreams of conquest had been thwarted by a smaller, seemingly weaker adversary. The Battle of Marathon had exposed their vulnerabilities and had shaken their confidence. But far from being the end, it marked the beginning of a series of conflicts known as the Persian Wars. The Greek victory at Marathon had a profound impact on the subsequent Persian Wars. It demonstrated the effectiveness of the Greek phalanx, a formation that would be used to great effect in future battles. It also served as a rallying cry for other Greek city-states, inspiring them to stand up against the Persian threat. The Battle of Marathon is more than just a chapter in a history book. It's a story of courage, strategy, and resilience. It's a tale of a small nation standing up to a colossal empire, a testament to the power of unity and determination. And that, my friends, is the incredible tale of the Battle of Marathon. It's a remarkable testament to the indomitable spirit of the Greeks, who rallied together and triumphed against a seemingly invincible opponent.